Fighting out of Englewood, California, is 24-year-old Dhelzett Boites. The kickboxer from Team System 8 stands 5 feet 6 inches tall with a record of 2 wins and 2 losses. Most recently, a round 3 KO loss to John Kim, but right before that, a round 3 submission over Roberto Lemus.
Yeah, Dhelzett is a really good fighter. He has 4 fights, which is a lot for University MMA, and one of the more experienced fighters we'll see tonight. And he's got really good punches, puts his chin low, bites his mouthpiece, and throws right at you. So he's not afraid to get into the mix and throw some strikes. And as a fight fan, that's what we want to see. And also in amateur MMA, you want to get rid of that jitters of getting in the pocket and throwing, and I don't think he has those.
Yeah, very true. Boites is always extremely active. He never stops moving forward. And even when he's on the bottom, he has a really active submission game, using that submission game both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and that's the way you should use it, you know. You have to know when to use it. I think he kind of has a good understanding of the game and when to use stuff and when not, and we'll see it tonight. We'll see a better Dhelzett tonight, possibly.
You know, and his opponent making his way to the cage, Lilley.
And his opponent from Boss Rutten's Elite MMA in Thousand Oaks, California, is 23-year-old Ryan Lilley. With a record of 2 wins and 1 loss, Ryan Lilley stands at 5 feet 6 inches tall. His most recent fight being here at the University of Mixed Martial Arts on May 19th of this year, a round 2 TKO win against the very game Hugo Lopez.
That was a great, great fight. We saw that fight get finished right in front of us, and that was amazing. If you guys at home don't know who Ryan Lilley, he comes out and bangs, gets right in your face, either presses you with strikes, presses you with wrestling. Very, very, if you don't have good cardio, Ryan Lilley will expose that. So definitely a cardio monster, trains with Boss Rutten, and he's just a well-rounded dude. I like him a lot, and he's got a lot of potential. One of the guys in the amateurs that I actually think could have a pretty decent pro career if that's exactly what he's looking to do.
Yeah, he definitely is thinking about a professional career. He's one of those guys who's always thinking about how to evolve. He showed improved footwork in his match against Lopez, along with that ever-evolving transition game. You know, he's always come out all cylinders firing, and that has a tendency to burn through that gas tank, and partially because he gets into wars. I mean, that fight with Lopez was a wildfire, and he finished that with a great pair of overhand rights. But he talked to me today earlier about how he's really been working on how to pace himself better and not burn through that cardio too early in a fight.
Well, it's like those letters like those notices you have on the employee locker the room. It says like work hard, work smarter, not harder. You know, come out and fight smarter, and rather than just going balls to the wall for no reason. You know, pick your shots, and when you have times to finish the guy, then you lay your energy out.
And this is a guy who does pick his shots. He works the body really well. He throws tight strikes and combinations. So again, this is a guy who, if he can really get a handle on how well he measures his energy, the sky's the limit for a kid like Ryan Lilley.
Yeah, like there's only a few guys I've seen that really.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Our next fight is brought to you by bodybuilding.com. Information, motivation, supplementation. Scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the 145-pound division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a kickboxer and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. He comes to the cage with a record of 2 wins and 2 losses. 1 win coming by way of submission. He stands at 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing at 144.4 pounds. Representing Systems Training Center and John Machado Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Englewood, California, Dhelzett Boites. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, a wrestling and strike fighter. He brings a record of 2 wins and 1 loss to the cage. 1 win coming by way of knockout and 1 by submission. He stands at 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighted in at an even 145 pounds. Fighting with Boss Rutten's Elite MMA from Thousand Oaks, California, Ryan Lilley. Man in charge of the action, Rafael Davis.
Get ready for a 145-pound tilt between Dhelzett Boites in the blue corner and Ryan Lilley in the red corner. This is the U of MMA. It starts here. They come out, touch gloves. And quickly Boites goes for a strike, but Ryan Lilley with that great wrestling background ducks under for a double leg takedown, quickly into side control. Boites, though, scrambling, trying to escape, doing his best to create some space.
Yeah, you know, sometimes coming out running at a wrestler is you're running into a double leg. That's just the way it is. It's a wrestler's nature. But good job of regaining, getting top control, and possibly.
Both these guys showing really, really good opportunistic jiu-jitsu, using every little moment for two very nice sweeps.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to see, you know, someone lock the. I would like to see Lilley drop his hips down and control the position at least for a little while to let it settle in.
Well, you know, if there's one thing we know about both these fighters, these two guys only have one setting, and that's 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and they're going at that high pace. It's interesting if this fight does get out of the first round, if we settle in a little bit and, you know, people make some mistakes when they get tired.
A pair of thudding body shots from the right hand of Ryan Lilley. Now settling a little bit more into a rhythm here for a moment. Boites trying to control the head of Lilley. Lilley doing his best to posture up right in front of us. Boites throwing that high guard, looking for some sort of submission, possibly a sweep. Lilley defending well, but Boites potentially locking in that armbar.
And a very good armbar. He's doing the right thing by coming out the bottom. We've seen Nick Diaz did this exact submission against Cyborg when he won a Strikeforce title back in 2011. And it's a very similar transition he's trying to go, to roll under and get that armbar, and he has it.
He has that thing in very tight.
Very tight.
But again, Lilley is someone who can take a lot of punishment, who also knows definitely how to defend. And he's doing a good job here of at least not letting the extension turn the right way to really crank that arm.
Yeah, and Lilley did the right thing by following over the top and avoiding getting caught into a spiderweb traditional armbar position. He kept following and stayed one step ahead, and that step is the one that keeps you from getting submitted. And very, very nice by Lilley. But also very nice by Boites to even have him there and have him in a lot of danger.
We gotta remember, Lilley was the aggressor in terms of the wrestling early on with that beautiful double leg takedown, ducking under the rush of Boites and putting him on the mat. Then that back and forth sweep, playing in the guard from Lilley. And he starts stacking them up. What does Boites do? Let me run that guard really high and get a hold of your arm.
Yeah, sure. His submission game is very, very good. And also, he's not afraid to throw strikes. He came out hard on his feet. He's rocking jiu-jitsu shorts, so shows a little bit of well-roundedness in his game that, you know, there is dangerous spots when you go against Boites.
Do you even give anybody a half point? I mean, does Lilley earn the half-point advantage here from having the lead for the majority of that fight? Or does this get even with how close that armbar was?
Or does it go fully in Boites' direction of a half point because of, you know, just having them in danger? Depends on how the judges score it. They all sit in different corners of the ring, so it's kind of, they all have different vantage points.
And they both come out swinging earlier. Both guys throw consecutive right hands and quickly into the clinch. Right uppercuts from Boites leave him open for the takedown, and Lilley again.
You can possibly transition to another armbar here. Armbar or possible triangle. If he could sit underneath, I know, okay.
Lilley on point here. You know, Boites with this really active submission game. We talked about that before the fight. You know, even when he's on the bottom, using that submission game, always trying to pressure his opponent.
Lilley's got to be careful. His arm is in a lot of danger. This is some sort of reverse armbar. It's a straight armbar. It's a modified arm. He's just putting the arm against his leg and extending it, and it looks very, very tight.
You know, again, we're seeing some really creative jiu-jitsu from Boites.
You know, and then this is similar to the submission we saw earlier, the same way the head trap I was talking about.
But now Lilley out of danger, at least for the moment, taking the advantage of the time to rain down some blows from the top. But look at that, a nice little cheeky jab from Boites on the bottom.
And a little bit of a brain fart by just going onto all fours and giving up his back, but it looks like he's going to possibly dump him and end up somewhere in the guard.
You know, Lilley might have that loss to Wanda Latore from 2 fights ago, but I have to say that I think that Boites is the toughest opponent I've seen him face so far.
Definitely, and right here, actually, Lilley had a chance to transition to an armbar, but he loses it and gives up position. And Boites in very good position. Lilley's doing a good job that controlling an overhook, if you look on when you control the guy's power hand, you can take away a lot of the guy's movement.
Right hands to the body here from Boites in the waning moments of round number 2. And yet one more, a beautiful sweep from Ryan Lilley to end that round. You gotta wonder, how much might that sweep affect the judges? It might not affect the judges to win him the round, but it might change a half point.
Exactly, it could definitely affect the half-point system that we have here. You know, very close. These are like we've spoken about in the past, these 2-minute rounds are very, very fast, so it's hard to, a lot of stuff happens and you can't really separate stuff. It just happens so fast and you have to think what happened that round. It can get confusing too. These judges watch so many fights when they're trying to rewind and think of what they just saw. They could possibly think of the wrong round because so much stuff is happening.
You know, it's when your only focus is on watching and enjoying the fight, and especially in a 5-minute fight, you know, the armchair referees talk about how easy it is to figure out who won a round. But then you see a round like this one, and you're just glad that you're in this seat and not in a seat trying to fill out a scorecard.
Yeah, I'm glad I just get to sit here and talk about the fights and have doesn't really matter. I have no say.
No say, no real responsibility.
Like, I have a say, people are listening to me, but I really have no say. It's like I have a say, but I don't.
Well, let's see what these two guys have left for round number 3. Has Ryan Lilley paced himself appropriately? Does he have that energy to burn? Can Dhelzett Boites really throw that submission game into high gear here in round number 3? And the story of the fight continues with an early takedown by Ryan Lilley, and in the same vein with a submission attempt by Boites.
Yeah, and that's the way you do it right there. And this is good. Again, that same Nick Diaz type of position, roll underneath. Let's see if he can separate the hands. See, Lilley has to keep him flat here or going in the opposite direction. Boites wants to go underneath and pop out the outside and get him almost in sort of a sambo type of armbar.
You know, Lilley doing a good job of keeping his weight on and keeping that tight. But
now he's going to transition to a triangle. We could have a mounted triangle here. It's going to be locked up on the inside, but still, you can still lock up a submission. All he has to do here is pull down the head and lift his hips up. If I was him, I wouldn't be focusing too much about that arm. I'd be reaching for the head, keeping my feet together and try to get a submission.
Well, the third verse is same as the first. An early takedown and then a submission battle on the ground.
Yeah, Lilley has to be careful. He can get caught in like a cross armbar. His arms get crossed on an armbar.
And you can see Lilley, always coachable, looking over his corner to see what Boss Rutten's saying to him. But now here we go, locking in that triangle. Can Boites get that all the way in? Will he get the finish here with 30 seconds left in the final round?
It looks really tight. That was smart by him to roll back under to keep his position. Now he has the armbar one more time, and now he's popping out the outside. That's where he wants to be to finish it. Now we have somewhat of a crucifix position that he just lost.
Yet another sweep. You know, if there's one thing you want to keep an eye out for in this match, it's really the amazing and creative ground game of these two fighters.
Yeah,
a lot of sweeps.
Exactly, and as a judge, you have to, some of these sweeps are really, really nice, and you have to give them points because they are changing the pace and changing the positions of the fight. You know, a small sweep can be really huge in a fight.
So here's the question for you. Even though we have Lilley gaining those takedowns and generally being on top, does the significant and continuous danger of Boites turn this decision in his favor?
I believe yes, it does, because you know Boites is the one actually trying to finish the fight. You do have to take your hat off for Lilley for getting out of the submission, but Boites had him in danger the whole fight. We didn't really see Boites in too much danger. We saw him put Lilley in danger over and over and over again. You know, Lilley's always game, but he, you know, kept leaving an arm in the wrong spot. You know, and if you leave it too deep, you end up fighting for 45 seconds to get out of it. And you have to judge in the favor of the guy trying to finish the fight.
You know, it's really interesting. Lilley seemed to have a pretty good transition wrestling advantage, but then you have that submission advantage from Boites. What do you think was going on in the corner of Lilley going into round number 3? Was Boss telling him to go take that down again?
I think so, yeah. I think it was get a takedown, but get to a dominant position where you're not in danger. You're in danger in guard and half guard, and you start to lose that danger on top when you move to side control. move to mount in any position past the half guard. But he was stuck in the guard, and he had to play the game of fight, submission, fight, submission, fight, submission.
Well, the question is, does Boites move up to 3 wins and 2 losses, or does Lilley move up to 3 wins and 1 loss? We'll find out here in a moment. These referees and judges taking their time with this decision. Again, we use a half-point system here in California for the amateur mixed martial arts ranks, which does allow for a little bit more flexibility in how you view a round. One criticism of the current 10-point must system has been that it's too often just that 10-9, so we might see some more creative scoring here. And to find out if that's the case, let's go to the cage to hear our official decision from Salvador Arellano.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecard. First judge scores a fight, 30-27. Second judge scores a fight, 30-27. Third and final judge scores a fight, 29-28. For your winner by unanimous decision, out of the blue corner, Dhelzett Boites.
Dhelzett, that was a hell of a battle. How are you feeling right now?
I'm really, really tired. I just want to sit down and just drink some water.
I think anybody would be tired after that battle. So you were threatening with a lot of submissions. Was that the game plan to come in and do that?
Yeah, somewhat. I wanted to do a stand-up, but I got taken down and just trying to work on my boxing a bit more. And I want to thank my coaches and everybody for helping me out for this fight. I want to thank John Machado, Tishu, Brother, people, everybody out there. Thank you.
That was a wonderful battle. We all loved watching it. Give it up for your winner, Dhelzett! Get this man some
And
water.
your winner by decision, Dhelzett Boites.